Good afternoon. Happy Memorial Day. Remember those who have fallen for the freedoms that we all enjoy. You'll notice my hair is shorter. Yep. I'm fully vaccinated now. I went and got my hair cut. I had some other things done. Um, and now I'm doing a video that is very, very different from what you've been seeing from me. I told you there'd be positive videos. Well, it's time. We're going to start with the fact that there's been an antiviral developed in Israel, which is very effective against COVID and its variants in animals. It is also well tolerated in humans, and I'm looking forward to stage 2 trials. I believe they will produce a medicine that can be used to treat infected people. As a result of the mRNA vaccines, we are now working on mRNA vaccines for a number of cancers, including vaccines usable as treatment for cancers, just as the Salk vaccine worked as a treatment for polio. Several of the cancers they're working toward with mRNA are very, very deadly in the sense that they kill a lot of people. Colon cancer is one of them. Kills a lot of people. Not the strongest virus in the world that causes it, or whatever causes it, infectant, but they think it may be treatable with mRNA. Now, I would like to note that mRNA's underlying technology is owned by the United States government. Additionally, for the Moderna vaccine, the government contributed $2 to $2.5 billion to the research effort, along with many millions from philanthropists like Dolly Parton. And as a result of this, I think it is very viable for us to give away the formula and, if necessary, the vaccine to third world countries to finish stopping this pandemic. And I would note, though their vaccines are considerably inferior to Moderna and Pfizer, Russia and China both are distributing their vaccines free of charge to anyone that will take them as part of something they are calling vaccine diplomacy. I think we need our own vaccine diplomacy, particularly to our long-term allies. The Navy has now, remember a few couple months ago, they announced a compact fusion generator that had an energy gain. They've now patented it. You can announce anything. Patenting something is a pretty strong indication it works, because the patent department looks for stuff like that. So I'm pretty confident that they have a compact fusion generator that works. And I'm going to go a step further than that and point out that they also patented a number of things that they called UFO technology. They called it this openly. And the announcement said these devices are capable of changing reality. I'm not sure what that means, but I find it an interesting pronouncement to make while patenting a group of things that you call UFO technology. Speaking of UFOs, Avi Loeb's new book is out. Now, you may recall Avi Loeb was the chair of astrophysics at Harvard, and he remains the head of an organization called something like the Society for Astrophysics, or Physics, Astronomy, and Medicine. And he writes about, of course, Oumuamua, the asteroid comet device thing that went sailing through the solar system and slingshotted back out. And of course, we've never seen Oumuamua. Those things that were released as pictures of Oumuamua, none of them are. They are artists' renditions of Oumuamua. And So he argues that the most likely thing that a Oumuamua is, because we do have the measurements, we have an understanding of the composition. He argues that the most likely thing a Oumuamua really was a detached solar sail from an extra-solar craft from another civilization. And he also says that the really important question is not whether it was a detached solar sail or not, but whether our science can get itself back to a point where it can engage challenging ideas. Because at this point, and he points it out, I've seen him do it eloquently in interviews, if you're a young academic, a young physicist or computer scientist or biologist or whatever, and this has been true since the 60s, you cannot propose anything that's outside the mainstream. You'll never work. You'll never work. That's wrong. We advance best when ideas can be considered. That's reality. And that is the argument he makes in the book. A paper also came out in a journal of microbiology or biology. I'm linking it below. It's through ResearchGate. I'm not 100% certain that other people will be able to get to the article. I think you will, but it may be my faculty ID automatically loads somehow and it lets me in. I don't know. But try it. It's a 63-page paper. And the authors, which include, I guess it's Harvard's week, it includes the head of some form of biology at Harvard, and people from universities. There are 11 authors. None of them are not eminent. They argue that the rover has already found life on Mars. They do pictorial comparisons from things the rover took. It is a very compelling argument that there's at least fungal life on Mars. In that, for example, the rover would run over these things that look like little mushrooms and they'd shatter apart and they'd be hollow. And the official explanation was they're hematite. Except that you look, the rover would continue taking pictures of the exact same area. 3 days later, in the treads that the rover had left, they'd be back. Some of them look to have stems when they come back. I've never seen hematite reform. Things grew. Repeated pictures of the same organisms that looked like mushrooms showed them getting bigger day by day. I find that extremely compelling. And, of course, these people are under fire. It's harder to put someone like them under real fire. Because, frankly, I read somebody from a university I have never heard of attacking the work of a group of people who are globally known. Oh, well, they shouldn't have been so sure. Confirmation, blah, blah, blah. And I have a tendency to go, okay, buddy, but you don't count. These people got where they are through meticulous, lifelong work. I don't get to just criticize them without proof, and neither does anybody at my level. And the people I'm seeing criticize them are at my level or below it. So I suspect that their work is valid. There also was evidence of these little mushroom-like things suddenly growing on the rover until storms came along and knocked them out. We don't have samples. The rover doesn't have the capability of taking samples, but I found their article compelling, and you might be interested in reading it. Now, do I have confirmation bias? Of course I do. I absolutely think it's ridiculous for us to think we're the most puissant things in the universe, or the only things that are alive in this solar system, or any of the other things that among humans replaced the old geocentric religious theory of the universe. I think they're just another way to say we're the best, we're special, and I think they're silly. That's all I have to say in this video, but I think there may be a second positive one within a few weeks because there's a lot of additional material, many new discoveries that I did not cover.